Happy
Hi,
Sunday!
happy Sunday.
Hello, everyone.
Yay.
We are going to have a great evening tonight. I'm so excited and happy to have all you returnees and new people. And our subject is
Can you harm your higher self?
yes,
Yay!
yay. Yeah, actually, I don't know about yay about higher self, but here, because we just figured out the next two topics for the next two sessions. So my brain is going, no, wait a minute, which one was it again?
No.
Oh, goodness. I need things written down, for any kind of logistical kind of thing. So we have Roy, who we have had many times before, and we love Roy. And how do I get down the list? You guys, how do you go down the list? Oh,
I don't know.
Patty and Diane and Gail,
Hi, Diane.
Cindy, and Karen and Wendy. Wendy, you're on here. How do you go down the page? Do you know how to do that?
I've never done it.
Because
Go
I
down.
only can see part of it, but I know that there's more below, but there's no way for me to go down the page.
Yeah.
Because
Nope.
I can see part of a name, but I can't.
Yeah, my list.
Okay,
Yeah.
another technical difficulty. So, if we don't see you on that list, but if you send us a chat, on the right side you should have a chat box
There's,
on the bottom. So if you type in there, it'll show us your question or your comment, as well as your name, so we'll know you're on here. Again, I don't know why you
who
can't
can't you
scroll
see
down.
past?
That's strange, huh?
Yeah.
Who can't you see past? Wendy?
Connie, I can see Connie. Hello,
There's
Connie.
Patty, Sue, and Vera.
Okay. How did you get down there?
It's on my sidebar. Everybody's name. I have 13. It starts with Karen, Diane, Gail, you, Cindy, Kathy, Roy, Wendy, Connie, Patty, Sue, and Vera.
Okay, well, it is what it is. Okay, so anybody that's new you don't have to be new, but if you have any questions or comments before we get started, go ahead and put that in there. Remember that you hear our response a minute after we've actually spoken. So you type in your question, and I'll see it. We'll see it. All three of us will see it. Um, and then we'll respond to you at whatever point, but you won't hear it for a minute later. So it's a little surreal because we're thinking we're in real time, and presumably we are in real time, but you're a minute behind, which makes everything a little confusing, especially because there is no freaking time.
You know,
Yeah, this
I have a
makes life
question.
grand. So, okay, so see, I can scroll on the chat. Okay, so the way the evening goes, we're scheduled to be on from 7 to 8, 7:45, 8 o'clock. We usually finish somewhere in there. And we'll start off with, we just wait a few minutes for everybody to get on and get settled. We want you to be comfortable and familiar with, our faces and our voices. And then we'll do a healing portion, which generally lasts 5 to 10 minutes, roughly. I don't know what the average is. We'll have to figure that out sometime. Um, during which your job is simply to receive. My job is to act as a antenna and receive all that and then broadcast it to all of you. And then we'll come back and discuss whatever topic of the evening, which tonight was, can I harm my higher self? And that person that had the question is on, so hopefully she'll have lots of specific questions about that. Actually, I know she does. I had to condense all her questions into one. So, can I harm my higher self is really is just the scratching on the surface. So, and of course, if you have other questions, post those as well. And Wendy and Lisa are my faithful helpers, and they are healers in their own right. So they're not just keyboard jockeys. And
I like that.
and so anyway, so they will be helping keeping me on track, and putting in their comments, and communicating with you guys, because it's obviously I can't be. It's a lot to do all at once if I had to do all of that. So feel free to talk to anybody. Anything else?
Yeah, I have
Oh,
a
you did a good
question
job.
of everybody that's on. Um, there's quite a bit of people that have been on week after week. Are they noticing the build-up week after week after week? Kind of like I explained in the beginning, I feel like I feel just more settled in my life, more relaxed when tough situations come up. Are they noticing a difference as well?
Well, I hope so. Yeah. But go ahead and respond to that. We would love to hear that. And as always, a few of you are on that came through a client of mine. Do I say her name? Maybe I won't. We've never actually met. We've just met over the phone, and she's actually on the phone now because she doesn't use a computer. So I want to welcome all of you, and I want to thank her for sharing with her loved ones what she feels has been of benefit to her, and others have felt it is too. So you can share with anybody. There's no cost. There's no limit. So tell anybody you want. They can hop on and join us as we explore this crazy metaphysical world. Well, physical, how? Because we're living in this physical one right now, aren't we?
Right.
Metaphysical
Yes,
one at the same time. So as we are awaken and learn about all this stuff, questions pop up. At least for me, the more I learn one thing, and I'm like, but wait a minute, but how does that mean? How does that translate? And where does that go? And how does that happen? And so I always just makes me have more questions. So it's fun to explore. All right, we're at 7:07. I think we can start. I'm on a different computer tonight. And so my PowerPoint thing isn't on here. And those of you that have been on before know that we tend to have technical difficulties. Although Wendy and Lisa had some today, it wasn't me.
it was our turn.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go off screen because sometimes my body does weird things, and I don't know, I just feel like it would be distracting to you, and I don't want to say it's embarrassing to me because I flop around in our healing retreats and sessions and one-on-one sessions and stuff, so it's not like I don't care that people see me, but I don't know that I want it on tape. So you can see behind me my drum and some overflow books and my motorcycle helmet. Very exciting stuff. Some artwork on the walls, if you can zoom in on those. But really, you want to close your eyes and have a straight spine, relax the jaw, muscles, joints, everything. If you want to lie down, that works. Be comfortable. But I'm going to go off screen. I will say a prayer and then it'll start happening. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to go hide over here. Okay. Oh, you know what? I just realized I have the door open. I'm going to close it. In case my kids make any noise. We're having energy surges here. Very strange. Things are going off. Things are going on. All right. On back. Wow. It's already 7:16. How'd that happen so fast?
Time goes by when you're having fun and you have energetic surges.
There is no time. Really, you don't, it just doesn't. Like last week, I don't know if when I was, we talked last Sunday, I mentioned that some of us were going to work with some horses. And at one point I was with one of them, and we had this really powerful connection, and I had my hand on her heart chakra, and she had her neck kind of wrapped around my head, and there was no time. I had no idea what time it was. Every once in a while my brain would go, because I had taken my glove off, every once in a while my brain would go, God, Karen, your hand is freezing. But there wasn't any time. It's bizarre. When we do the retreats and stuff, I'm like, what time is it? Thinking it's like 3 o'clock, and I'm, oh, it's 6, 7. How did that happen? Anyway, enough about time. So, anybody have any comments or questions before we get started on our?
I didn't realize how much stress I was carrying from doing all the moving and cleaning I did today, but I just kind of felt the sensation of it melting off of me. So that was very wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you need that. We all need that.
Yeah.
We don't realize. We always carry stuff, and it's hard to let go unless you actually have this conversation with them. Okay, release. Well, that's another topic. Write it down, Lisa. Somebody write it down. Another topic idea. How to let go of our daily stuff.
Writing it down.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So
questions.
Yes, questions.
Can I harm my higher self?
I gotta say that there was a being almost pushing me into my chair. They want to talk about this, or at least that one does.
So can we start with that general question and then see what else pops up? I've never thought about that.
Okay, hold on. Let me see. I mean, I can give you a one-word answer, but let's see what else does. Well, yes. The answer is yes, but there are a lot of intricacies to it. So let's get more specific.
Do you remember whose question it was?
Kathy.
Kathy.
Woo! Hello, Kathy.
Everybody's pretty much saying until Kathy responds, everybody is, so far people have said that they can feel a difference. Kathy S., yes, I can feel a difference, continue throughout the sessions. Jane said, hard to say, doing a ton of meditation.
Kathy also wanted to know if you can heal your higher self. So I guess if you can hurt it.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. Yes, and that's why you're here. That's them saying. I mean, that's why I'm here too. So, while you can harm your higher self, there is I can conceptually understand it energetically, but let me see if I can put it in words. There is protection. There's a column of being that is you that's pretty solid. So you have to really, you got to work kind of hard to screw up, to hurt your higher self. There's already, it's already set up so that you're not gonna, in our blind stupidity stumbling around on earth, if it was easy to hurt your higher self, I mean, we'd all be up a creek. So there is a protection, so we don't have to worry about, it's not something to worry about in our daily lives. Like, oh, did I just screw up my higher self? You know, don't, that's, but they're saying that a closing off, when we close ourselves off from source, as in, you know, we don't believe in God, and you don't have to call him the creator God, whatever works for you. But if you, you know, close off your heart and turn yourself away, that's a biggie. Hold on. And they're saying that if when that happens, the higher self is always kind of like trying to nudge you, going, "Woohoo! Come on, wake up!" And of course, we don't like to listen, but anyway. Okay, so
If we do something here that is harmful to ourselves, does that hurt the higher self?
usually, and when we hurt ourselves, we are likely subconsciously, but we are trying to teach ourselves a lesson. So we are working with our higher self to create a situation to grow from. It's when we repeat those patterns, when we keep on spinning around in circles, as opposed to growing from it, then we kind of get, you get caught in that cycle, and you gotta step out and, pay attention and work through it. They're showing us that people get caught up in this spiral. Was that the question? Well,
yeah.
Yeah, she's asking, like, if we want to take drugs or take our own life, if that's harmful to ourselves.
What was the question?
When Kathy S. asked if we do something here that is harmful, does it hurt the higher self, like if we want to take drugs or commit suicide?
Okay, so anything that affects your aura, your energy, your energetic being, obviously is a risk. So drugs are one of those. And it doesn't matter if it's legal or not. And I hate to tell you, but alcohol is considered a drug. Just because it's legal doesn't mean that it's any better. So, because what happens is it messes with the shape, for lack of a better word, with the perimeter, with the way that the molecules are lined up within that aura. It's now more permeable. It can be, dented and ripped and interfered with. You want to keep yourself as whole as possible. So obviously, eating, won't say any names, but eating from fast food places, which there's going to be all kinds of chemicals and things in there. That's, I'm not saying don't ever go get a cheeseburger, but that is going to affect you as well. So living as holistically as possible is going to help. So that's okay. So going to the suicide issue. Let's see. Oh. The image is of. Is it the higher self? Yeah. So anybody, when someone is in that place where they're feeling either that they want to, or they're going to, or maybe have already, I just got an image of the higher self holding that aspect of itself, so me, if it was me, in their arms, kind of like a baby, kind of cradling it, like, oh, it was hard and it's going to be okay. So
Oh, that's emotional.
It is. And then the two of them, so then the higher self and then that this aspect of oneself that made that choice, then together go, I don't want to say school, but like then there's a, like we would say here, a special class or a special hospital or a special healing venue to work through that, to heal that. So so there's no points off because you went and took that class. But it is I this is the hardest part of communicating and living in metaphysical, and trying to convey that in words that you can understand. I mean, I'm perfectly clear on what it is, but to get it across, it's the hardest part of my job. Hold on. There's definitely a sadness attached to that. I don't feel anything like, there's no sense of punishment or, going to hell or any of those things. I don't feel anything like that. There's a sadness, definitely.
So, you said that with all those things, how we harm ourselves, that, doing this type of work is part of the healing, but do we need to cleanse ourselves spiritually and physically also to make repairs from things that we've done to harm our higher self?
So are you saying if I do a cleanse here, a physical cleanse?
Right, like a physical cleanse or a spiritual cleanses.
Okay. Well, okay, hold on. So again, so remember we said that some of the things that we do here are not really harming our higher self. It's more about creating a lesson for ourselves. So, right. But if you have actually harmed yourself, hold on. If you've actually harmed your higher self, I want to be specific. Then the higher self, focuses on your heart center. So my higher self would focus on my heart center on clearing things. So it would be kind of a two-way street to the two of us working together. And this is what's always hard. I have a hard time with this. Like my higher self, I see her as somebody separate because I have a hard time allowing myself to accept and believe and understand, even though I know it in my head, that that's me. Because I feel like, no, this is me. How is that me? But it is me, and it's confusing. To me, it's confusing. So, but anyway, so that higher me works with the lower me, and again focuses on the heart center. And there's a lot of prayer going on in those cases. And again, prayer, whatever that means to you, who you pray to, it's connecting to source is the issue. Somebody's got feedback. Oh, stopped. Oh, it's me. Is it me? Oh no. Okay. So your higher self will be, again, because we'll be now kind of residing in your heart center, will be pushing you towards doing things that will help the two of you, which is really the one of you, which will help you in fixing the whole thing. So, cleanses and, whether it's bodily or, but, prayer, or maybe let's use the word connection. Connecting to source is is the best part of it, is the most powerful part of it. And of course, to the degree that you've mucked up your physical self, you gotta do that as well. Or if you've mucked up your emotional, mental, and usually all of those, they all have to work in tandem together to heal. But the underlying, the thing that permeates everything, of course, is the this metaphysical source, energetic, whatever you want to call it, aspect.
So do we risk alienating ourselves from our higher self?
No, there's just no. Although sometimes the higher self wants to kick the lower self. Oh, what are you doing, Paul? There can be frustration, yes. But you are you. How are you going to get away from yourself? You know.
So is there a thing, since the past, the present, and the future are all there's no time, and multiple, lives are going on at the same time, is my higher self in this lifetime connected to my higher self in a previous lifetime?
So I personally, because the whole time thing, I use the image of a coil.
Okay.
that each circle, each orbit of the spiral is one lifetime, and so they are individual coils of one spring, which is your life. And when you look down, they all look the same. It's all happening at the same time, but you can individually look at each individual coil. So they showed me they used that imagery to explain the answer to that question. So okay. So what they showed is that, like, the higher self standing in the center of that spring with all the coils around. So the higher self is in all of those, is connected and observing and living all of those.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. That's neat.
There ever a situation where it, like, one loop of the coil bleeds into the other one? So, like, if Lisa, who is the sheep farmer from 500 years ago, if I wake up one morning, can I wake up and say, oh, I think I want a sheep? I mean, can they ever merge?
You wake up in the morning and go, what?
I want to buy a sheep. I mean, so can any of the lives blend in? Is there ever a situation like that?
Yes. Yes, so I'll expand on my analogy. So if you look, each coil has 360 degrees, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And actually, and you can subdivide that into half degrees and, seconds and whatever. So 180 degrees on coil 67 and 180 degrees on coil 2005 or 2 or whatever, they all kind of represent the same thing. Whatever 180 degrees means, so maybe that means parent relationship, or maybe that means patience, or maybe that, so everything, so they're all kind of, so if on one lifetime 180 degrees was, let's just use patience, and you didn't do well there, it's going to show up in the others until you get it cleared, and then when you work on that, it'll clear it through all of them.
Oh, very good.
Yeah. So, like when we do ancestral work, we've seen this so many times. I'm working with somebody, and their ancestors will show up because that issue is healing them too. And so they're like, oh, yay, go, keep going. Because and they're supportive, because it helps everybody. So it's not only my separate lives, but also my ancestral, both directions, ancestral and decestral. Descendental. It works both ways.
Very good. Thank you.
We're wondering if what you said about, the suicide victims, about how they go to, school or however you said it, but so she's wondering if we go to school and do like community service, if something like that exists.
It's not about. It's not. It's more about a growth that needs to happen, because clearly there's something hanging over you. That you would be that despondent and have responded, in that way to whatever the situation is happening. So it's more about aligning oneself. So it's basically like, going to a spa and getting vitamins. You need some more, stress resistance vitamins or something. I don't know. I'm just totally making that up. But so community service, the way that we understand community service here, that's like a punishment. Oh, I don't know, you broke into a store and so you have to do community service, or that's kind of more of a punishment. But if you mean community service in the way of contributing to the universe, then we all are to do that at all times and in all lives and in all realms and in all, that's an ongoing thing that we should always be of service. I mean, that doesn't mean you can't kick back and have a pizza and watch a movie, but the thing that keeps the universe in balance is all the souls working in harmony for the greater good. So if you mean community service that way, then yeah.
Would the circumstances of a suicide depend on what happened to you or to your higher self? Like if it was, would the circumstances, what led you to the suicide, would that depend or determine what was going to happen to you?
With the circumstances in if we're talking about earthly life,
right? Yeah.
If the circumstances in your earthly life,
if you suffer like depression,
okay. Would that transcend to your higher self?
Right. Yeah. Like, would that depend on would that determine what happened to your higher self and/or in your afterlife?
So again, that depression was a lesson. That was one of those things that you created as a learning. So you create your life before you come here. Again, how that happens, I don't know, because there is no before. And one of these days, I really love to explore this whole thing of time more. But that's not our topic today. So they're saying that's one of those lessons. So to say, to overcome depression, not that you're. How can I say? Having the lesson of experiencing depression and finding your way through it. And again, and there are so many variables here. So you could be that. Hold on, let me find a concise way to say all of this. You're saying depression is a spiraling down that gets. There's an issue. There's something that either is a lesson to be learned, or it could be something that came in, an experience of trauma, and then we sometimes get caught up in that vortex of that, and then then we start taking pills or drinking alcohol or hanging out with the wrong people or watching depressing movies or whatever. All those things can all kind of contribute to that. The higher self is reacting to that and feeling all of that heaviness, for lack of a better word, and trying to lift up the whole system, all of you. But if you go too far, you earthly you, if you go too far, then the higher self, it can't withstand it. It can only withstand so much, and then the whole system, then that's when then you would succumb, and whether you committed suicide or not. But if you succumb to whatever that issue is, then the whole system gets kind of then you would have to go to then not have to then you are blessed with going to a rest home, for lack of a better word, and working through that.
Sounds good to me, actually.
Mm-hmm. So really, the answer out of this, I think, is the understanding that our higher self is pretty strong, and it was able to withstand a lot. And so we have that support of ourselves all the time, and we have to trust ourselves. But at the same time, we're not invincible. So, but everything all works together. So, and if you fall down, you fall down. So you just, you scrape off your knee and do what you got to do and keep going. So anytime that we it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the universe. We live forever. So it's just another step, another incident.
Would you consider going back to the suicide and your lessons and so forth, an altruistic reason or a preordained reason? Those would also be lessons that a soul would have signed up for?
Somebody committed suicide altruistically?
Yeah. Well, that is the question.
Okay. I'd need an example.
Okay. I don't know. I'm see if she'll type one. But what about
if they could give an example? Because their understanding of altruistic, my understanding of altruistic, and then my guide's definition of altruistic, we need to be on the same page. So we need to have a specific example.
Okay. And what about preordained? Right? We'll give her a chance to write down her question. But what about preordained?
A preordained suicide?
Yeah.
It does happen. Rarely, but it does happen. And they're saying very, very rarely.
Okay. Maybe she doesn't have an example of an altruistic suicide.
Okay.
Might just be hypothetical.
Okay.
Just wondering,
Yeah. Okay, so let me see if we can.
Oh, here it is.
They're saying there are altruistic there are situations in which someone would give up their life for somebody else.
Yeah, she's saying,
which maybe you could call that a suicide.
She's saying for some reason to protect someone else from harm.
Yeah, so that would be putting yourself, yes. So that wouldn't necessarily be suicide. That would be more, like taking the bullet or, whatever for that other person.
Like the Secret Service.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here, she's got, for example, if someone is a child molester and knows no other way to control it, so he would kill himself.
Oh, that's a good example. Okay. And the key phrase there being, he knows no other way. They're saying there always is another way. But they totally understand that society in general isn't there yet to understand what these other ways are. I mean, maybe some of us that are more, even like social workers and psychologists or whatever that work with that kind of thing, and certainly those of us that work with energy and this metaphysical thing would say, oh no, there are other ways. But in general, so, that would be seen as an altruistic move, but they're saying that there's always another way. Just for, for that case situation. Wendy and her sparkling lights.
Yeah, I don't think we have any other questions. Jane just said that was her question, and she just said it was the whole time delay thing. So I'm trying.
It was the whole what thing?
Time delay.
Oh, time delay thing. Yeah. Yeah, we're resting on top of Google Hangouts, and that's just the way that it works. Actually, Wendy and I tested out Google Hangouts today because I wanted to try it on this new computer, and she called and she's like, "I can hear you talking." I was like, "I'm not even on there anymore. I mean, my computer was doing some upload thingy. I wasn't on at all." And she could hear me talking, and then she could hear the phone ringing as she called me. That we were already talking on the phone. So I know it's a little time warping, it's a little brain warping, but that's the way it is. So so Jane says yes, there are other ways. Yes, yeah. See, she knows. Okay. Wednesday's topic is connecting with loved ones.
Yay.
And Sunday's was grounding.
Yes.
Grounding methods. So.
Yes.
And then Lisa had a good idea too. I already forgot what it was, but it sounded good. So we'll throw that in there soon. And you guys, any ideas that you have for topics, please send those to us. You can put it on the chat here. You could put it on the Immersion with Source Facebook page. You can email me. When you get the emails about the next event, you can email me back and say, "Hey, can we talk about such and such topic next time?" Or I can't guarantee it's going to be next time, but we'll certainly put it on the list. And what else? Anything else?
Have a spectacular week.
Yeah.
See you on Wednesday.
Okay. Okay. So I hope, Kathy, we got your questions answered, and there was a part 2 to this topic. We'll do that.
It was a good topic tonight.
Huh?
I liked the topic tonight. It was good.
Yeah, it was
something I never thought of.
Yes.
Yeah. See, that's what's so fun about exploring this with everybody together. Is people come up with questions that you're like, oh, And I thought I had a lot of questions, but everybody contributing helps. Okay, well then we'll say goodnight and spread the word, and we'll see you again on Wednesday if you like, or on Sunday, whenever you want. That's it.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.